Tonight on NewsWatch 12 at 6, investigation of a second fire at a solar farm prompts questions of fire safety. And the Grants Pass mayor says she believes the city lacks in unified leadership. Plus, Southern Oregon's largest indoor pickleball facility opens its doors this weekend. A sneak peek coming up on NewsWatch 12 at 6.
Watching out for you. This is NewsWatch 12 at 6.
We start on a fire watch update tonight. An investigation into two fires at a solar panel farm in Eagle Point found that the cause of those fires were the very solar panels themselves. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Haley Gravitt. NewsWatch 12's Rocky Walker has more on the story.
Thousands and thousands of solar panels line the solar farm here in Eagle Point, creating a huge amount of electricity, but also being the cause of two fires this summer. This footage is from the fire that broke out on the property just Monday, but another fire broke out here on July 31st. The fires collectively burned 10 acres. This is the panel that caused one of the fires, found by the investigators to overheat, causing the flames. Professionals say events like these are rare and almost always are caused by outside factors like animals and weather.
A thermal event like this one, it does seem pretty rare to me. It is not always an installation error. I would say actually it's more commonly an external factor that causes things like that to happen.
They say safeguards are in place, but even with the solar panels being put off of the power grid, they are still creating energy. And until a solution is found, there is a possibility for more panels to fail. The investigators have worked with the company who owns the solar panel farm, Soltage LLC, to find a solution to the malfunctions. But with 33,000 panels in the grid, they will need to check most all of them to see if the previous panel failures affected the others and their stability, or if there's a larger issue within the panels. Soltage LLC did not get back to me for a comment or an interview at this time. In Eagle Point, Rocky Walker, NewsWatch 12.
You all have failed. You have all failed Grants Pass, and we're tired of it.
Now, despite concerns from residents, Grants Pass City Council is relocating one of the city's homeless camps to a site that's 40% smaller. Last night, we told you about the Grants Pass City Council meeting that was going to discuss where public encampments would be allowed. The city now moving forward with a 40% smaller campsite to replace one of the two designated public encampments in the city. Residents voiced their frustration with the city council, saying the council doesn't act on public input when it comes to homelessness.
This has been years in the making with nothing done. I feel so bad for the women who got up here who are having to live in these campsites. I feel so bad for the businesses that are struggling, getting things stolen, losing customers, cleaning up garbage daily. I feel bad for the residents who don't feel safe in our community.
Now, this all comes after a Supreme Court decision in favor of the city of Grants Pass for issuing citations to unhoused public camping grounds. However, the state of Oregon requires cities to designate allowable areas for public camping if there aren't enough shelter beds. NewsWatch 12 spoke with the mayor of Grants Pass, and we'll have updates coming up later on. We actually have that update now. We're hearing from the mayor of Grants Pass. NewsWatch 12 Samantha Gadara spoke with the business owner near the new campsite yesterday, gaining insight into community reactions and concerns. As the city navigates the complexities of the homelessness crisis, local voices are crucial in shaping the conversation about potential solutions. And she said one of the reasons that they feel behind on the homeless issue is due to a lack of unified city leaders.
I think personally, if the council had been on the same page a couple years ago, we definitely could have worked in a more unified way.
The council is working through the temporary housing to address the homelessness crisis within the town. And as we heard, residents in the area really want their leadership to come up with a clear solution. And happening right now, the Medford City Council is getting their meeting started to approve thousands of dollars worth of funding in regards to Medford's homelessness. The council will decide on approving $840,000 to the Medford Police Department, Rogue Retreat, the Maslow Project, and Medford Outreach Court. It will also consider the contract funding with the Maslow Project to provide homeless services to youth within the Medford School District. Multiple other funding options are also on the agenda. We'll look at those and take a live look into that meeting in just a few minutes. But we want to turn to the crime watch first. A New York man has been sentenced to federal prison after traveling to Southern Oregon to sexually abuse a child and capturing it on video. 26-year-old Brent Johnson Jr. was sentenced to 180 months in federal prison. Johnson made first contact with the child in August of 2021 through an online video game and then proceeded to communicate through text messages. Undeterred by the child's age, Johnson traveled to Oregon to meet the child. The child's mother contacted law enforcement in February of 2022 after receiving text messages from pictures with Johnson. He pleaded guilty in June of this year. And continuing coverage tonight, jury selection today in the trial for a Klamath Falls man accused of kidnapping and sexually abusing a Washington woman. NewsWatch 12 has been covering the case of Negassi Zuberi and following this investigation since last year. We have shown you that house that Zuberi is accused of for bringing that woman to Washington, and that cinder block cell that police say made to keep that woman in. And we also have written notes of his Operation Takeover plan. We even heard from Zuberi's partner about the case. The trial is expected to start on Monday following jury selection. And looking ahead to tomorrow, Southern Oregon's largest indoor pickleball facility is opening its doors. Pickleball Heights offers almost 12,000 square feet of play space for players of all levels. NewsWatch 12's Leaf Column got the chance to test it out.
Pickleball Heights is serving up a new opportunity for indoor play in Central Point.
Starting Friday, pickleball players of all levels can head indoors for a new playing experience in Central Point. Pickleball Heights offers 6 courts, aiming to meet a growing number of players in the valley. Co-owner Stephen Weymouth says the indoor space supports year-round play.
Our facility is unique because, for one, it's indoors, so we can play any time of day and season here.
The walls also allowed me to brush up on my skills in private, starting with pickleball lingo.
This orange section here is called the kitchen, or it's a no volley zone here.
Then I practiced at the dink wall for a shot at solo play. I was then ready to move to the court for some one-on-one.
I'm turning as red as the kitchen right now.
In a couple hours, I became a pickleball fan. Weymouth said that's par for the course.
There's 2 kinds of people. There's the people that love pickleball and there's the people that hate pickleball. And the people that hate pickleball have never played pickleball. So I think once they play it, they'll also fall in love with it too.
And when your game is all done for the day, Pickleball Heights offers a lounge area for you to relax. You can even use your paddle as a fan. In Central Point, Leaf Column, NewsWatch 12.
Not too shabby of a day for Leaf Column. And the restoration of the historic Holly Theater in Medford reached a milestone as the installation of seats begins to build. The project is still far from complete, but more than a decade of fundraising, planning, and construction is starting to take shape. NewsWatch 12 spoke with the executive director of the nonprofit making the restoration happen, who said that restoring the building has a huge economic promise.
Installing the seats is such a milestone because the entire interior of the theater had to be finished before we could install the seats. And this is a long project, so this indicates how close we are to finish.
Austin believes the restoration and the return of business will have a significant impact on downtown Medford. The Holly Theater opened in downtown Medford back in 1930, and seats are more than 1,000. Each seat has been sponsored by donors, and those sponsorships have helped raise more than $900,000 towards the restoration. And today marks the 1 week point of NewsWatch 12's 34th annual Coats for Kids campaign, and you have responded online and at our red donation barrels. NewsWatch 12's Community Outreach Director Jerry Howard joining us in studio after visiting a few of those donation barrels, and I see quite the coats there, Jerry.
Yeah, we have quite a stack here. I found these coats, which prove something we already know. We have a caring community. These coats come from just one Coats for Kids donation barrel that was overflowing in Grants Pass. The Fred Meyer store said its Coats for Kids barrels were full, and you can see that this barrel was packed with coat donations, so we went to get them. That's not even all the coats that were there, but I had to stop stacking them so you could see me. NewsWatch 12 is taking your donations of new and gently used children's coats. They're for children in Jackson, Josephine, and Klamath counties, where we have more than 50 donation barrels, and this one barrel had more than 30 coats and jackets today. Donors also can contribute financially to our annual Coats for Kids drive. We accept checks sent to KDRV at our street address, and you can get that information at kdrv.com. That's also where you can find our red donation barrel locations listed, or you can make an online monetary donation. We're grateful for the support of our partners and you at home. And thanks to your donations, we have provided 150,000 coats to children needing them since 1990 with coats such as these. Haley?
Jerry, thank you. Moving on to some sports coverage for you. Our game of the week is happening tonight. Eagle Point is taking on South Eugene for a special Thursday edition of Game of the Week. You can tune into that game at 7 p.m. on channel 12.2. Tomorrow evening, our sports and weather teams will be live for Friday Night Blitz. Stormwatch 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman will be live at Spiegelberg Stadium. And stay tuned for our full sports coverage coming up in about half an hour. Now let's check in with Stormwatch 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman to see what our conditions are looking like for us outside right now, Matt.
Well, more blue skies today, Haley. Very warm temperatures for much of the region, well above average for this time of the year. Starting to, as we approach sunset, seeing readings cooling a bit, especially at the coast. 68 degrees in Brookings now. It's 85 in Medford, 83 in Wairika, and we're still above 80 as you head towards Klamath Falls. Now tonight, we'll be looking at some clear skies, chilly temperatures. The sun has been very active in recent days, and we've seen one really big solar flare today. So it does look like starting tonight and continuing through the weekend, we'll at least have the potential of seeing the northern lights even here in southern Oregon and northern California. And skies will stay clear for that potential. Down to 48 in Medford, 39 in Klamath Falls. Tomorrow, a storm system is going to work through the region. We're going to miss out on rain, but the big factor will be the wind, especially along and east of the Cascades. The combination of gusty winds, very low humidity will create critical fire weather conditions on the east side. A red flag warning has been posted for much of Klamath and Lake County east of the Cascades. Tomorrow, temperatures a little bit cooler as well, but still running well above average for this time of the year. I'll have more details on those fire weather concerns and your forecast through the weekend coming up in just a bit. Haley?